Batman. Rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a madman.
With all kinds of stories to tell. And it just blows my mind they can't think of something. Really? I mean, really? You gotta be that similar? I mean, Obi-Wan could have gone on multiple different adventures. He didn't have to stay on Tatooine. So we didn't have to see Baby Luke. I don't understand what the problem is, Max. I don't get it.
Or the other possibility is, besides the baby problem, because they kind of got they don't want to have another show starting out with another Star Wars baby like Muppet Babies, and Obi-Wan taking around Baby Luke for a little bit. It'll be too similar to Yoda and the Mando. The other situation is that they are not ready.
I think or even 2 movies, maybe like a sequel later, the next year or something.
I would love that. But yeah. I kind of have the feeling like the people that push the buttons at Disney, the stockholders that sign the checks, like to get things rolling, they're kind of like, we need to film in the theater. And we want it to be, that's my thoughts. And also, even though Deborah Chow was the first female director of Star Wars episode, they still haven't had a theatrical released one. And because I think everyone knows Kathy's on her way out, and she's there, it's people that or here and there. But what if they want to have her on her way out, have Obi-Wan, which everyone wants, and then have the first theatrical lead? What's going on there? She might be wanting that last headline, the highest grossing trilogy, and then what does she want? A female-directed Star Wars film in theaters. So that's another strong possibility.
I like it. I still think they should keep Deborah Chow connected to it because I was very impressed with what she did with Mando. And I think she's got a good eye and a good vision. And as far as everybody knows, Ewan McGregor is still attached. I don't think there's been any more rumors about him leaving the project, right?
No, I mean, he's got to be annoyed right now. He's kept his mouth quiet. They messed his. This should have been announced years ago.
Oh,
because there were so many times when The Last Jedi was at Celebration when they showed the trailer. They're like, we're going to have an announcement for the next movie by the end of the summer. Oh, Star Wars only is here. Okay, I wasn't expecting you, brother. Okay. Hey, Star Wars only, I thought you were going to be busy.
Yeah, bro, I just got back. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, you had a quickie. That was fast. They got pills for that Star Wars only.
I sent him a message. I'm like, don't worry about it, brother. Get it. Yeah.
I wouldn't do anything crazy like that, thank you.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't.
And believe me, the opportunity arose, sure.
Oh, okay. Well, Jolly was getting jealous up in here. He's like, what am I doing with you, Max? What the hell?
Right. I was at the wrong party.
Yeah. Are you feeling better? I didn't comment on your video, but I was watching earlier. Saddle a horse.
Yeah, dude, everybody was like really reacting kind of crazy to it. Like my voice was just slightly deeper than normal, and everyone was like, "Are you okay, Star Wars only? Are you sick or something?" I was like, I guess so. It's the Florida water, honestly, man. Orlando, Florida's known for like having really bad water, so I bought a filter today, and that's helped a lot. But yeah, Florida water tastes like ass.
You having fun down there?
Yeah, as much fun as I can. I mean, there's a lot to do in Orlando. I saw 1917 one night. The Bad Boys for Life movie after, and I mean, it's a nice place to be around and everything. Traffic's awful low. Jesus Christ, no one in Orlando knows how to drive. They're always going like 10 miles under the speed limit.
So this is one of the things that I backed Galactic Words Mayhem. I did a little external as well.
Another video. People saying anyone draw as well. Who is this? It's not a kid. I mean, he used to work for where'd you work? Xeno, Rock?
Yeah, I did a short story. I did a half a book for Zenoscope in 2013. And that was on tour.
You're my age, aren't you? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 44. I'll be 45 in a couple months.
Yeah. Everybody thinks you're a kid, you know, like, what the fuck? 160 confirmed. That sounds good to me, Powerhouse. Why don't you show EJ some love, guys?
Powerhouse with the power move.
Yeah.
He's the kid, like Robert Redford was in The Natural.
I mean, at 160 for a drawing like that, yeah. I mean, come on now.
I have covered boogie 298
Yeah.
Stephen Williams here and there.
Small fries make way, the big boys play. Now, things are going to get rough. 900 concerns from eyeball ideas.
Kelson's heart. Here. This best was away. 950 from Comic Art. Thank you, Comic Art. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Either when the deals happen, hold on, the comic fair 950 from the comic fair.
Yeah, about $300 a page.
This Cub's got claws and he's not afraid to use them.
Yes. Jeffrey Wolf, Doomcock needs a work wife. A work wife. It's just like the problem is I don't know how to do any of this stuff with anybody. I mean, if I was anyone that could do any kind of help for me, I'd have to turn over the keys of the kingdom. I mean, they'd have to have my, all passwords and stuff, and I just can't. So I just have to do it myself. I have no help. None. Zero. So that's just the way it's going to have to be. Tim Christ says, "Damn it, no love today, LOL." What? Tim, did you say something? And I didn't reply or something. Tim Christ. Here we go. Tim Christ says, years ago, I made a halfling barb / bard that was raised by orcs. This last Wednesday, I made an orc, and the GM randoed my backstory. My orc is raised by halflings, and he's a monk. Nice, Tim. Nice. Yeah, well, maybe you should get together with Robert Meza. He's wanting to do some gaming. Get some Doom gaming going over there. It'd be a lot of fun. Get a lawyer and hire somebody, says Rhino Sin. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just screwed. I'm just screwed. Ken Jack Ben says your emails. Well, email again. Uploads. Well, that's easy. Packages. Well, the packages.
Say that a lot, but this time I mean it. At worst, it's a horribly unfunny comedy that could possibly serve as entertainment if you were stranded on an airport runway for 2 hours. At best, you got it. You want a $20 bar tab. Where do I begin, my friend? I need a multi-phasic spectrometer to analyze this dumpster fire. And let me get this right out of the bat. To me, this has nothing to do with nostalgia.
Me personally, I was like, I didn't know if I loved the idea of a sequel all these years later where the old team is just handing the new team the technology and all that.
Well, first off, if you haven't seen this movie, it's not a sequel, despite what they may have led you to think with that terrible trailer. Just with grown-ups acting like mentally handicapped people and embarrassing themselves and their audience. Speaking of embarrassing, let's talk about our first two culprits.
I'm not ashamed of that trailer at all. I actually thought...
Number two, the director and writer.
The movie director.
The director of this film is a man by the name of Paul Feig. He is a male. Typical man's man.
And I was pretty deep in movie jail at that point, having had 2 movies that had bombed.
He also co-wrote the films, like writing and directing the movie Spy, directing Bridesmaids, creating Freaks and Geeks, a show that's boring and sucks.
It's so funny, you guys. It's worth it.
And he directed a couple episodes of The Office, which is why we see Gabe, Kevin, and Dwight's friend in this movie.
Is it called Ghostbusters?
Actor? Oh, no.
And hey, look who it is. Why, it's Coco the Cat. Coco the Cat is actually in a lot of movies and TV shows.
You done fucked it up. That's right. It's the return of the top 10 controversies of 2019, back due to popular demand from you guys. This was a request from our supporting members, our Patreons, our join buttons. Please contribute if you like content like this. So let's just jump right in, get back to the list, and tell you what, let's do it supersized this year because there were a ton of fuck-ups in 2019. So these are the top 5 Sonic the Hedgehog's design reveal. Okay, so it's not 100% gaming only, but it is definitely gaming related. The video game-based movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, revealed its first trailer in 2019 to the internet's pure horror. Sonic that they showed something more like an abomination rather than the lovable hedgehog that we all know. Everybody unanimously found it creepy and just weird and odd-looking, confusing. Why not just use the actual design since you're working directly with Sega?
Number 13. And they've sort of built a cult of personality around themselves, right? You guys know the type of streamers we're talking about, the kind of streamers everybody hates. How's it going, guys?
Randy, come here, bro. Randy, come here. Shut up! Magic and some fuck-ups presenting the game. Look, this all started when the original voice actor for Claptrap said that he wasn't reprising his role because of unpaid royalties from Gearbox. It's been said many times that there are people that sit on the board of the ESRB or the ESA and the ESRB, by extension, who own the ESRB, that support these types of stuff, that are the companies that are worst at this time.
More money for
the ESRB ratings are a joke. This drama unfolded when everybody saw that a rated E for game, NBA 2K20 comes out, it's rated E for everyone, when it literally has simulated gambling mechanics in it. They've been doing it for fucking years, and we're sick of it. When I called them out on it, when we looked up the industry information, we realized how useless these are. They are essentially regulating themselves. So, of course, they're going to protect their interests, and they're not going to overly inform you about microtransactions. They're going to leave it up to parents. They're going to say, they're not even going to label it fucking right. No. Like I said, it's falling apart. Sony pulled out. What's more, these fucking morons leaked a spreadsheet of over 2,000 journalists, online personalities, content creators, all of their personal fucking information. And this is the ESA, the organization behind all this stuff. And people on that list were then doxxed, they were called, they were harassed, they were forced to change their information due to their incompetence and lack of any semblance of care with people's personal information. The first attempt to fix this shit website actually didn't even work, and people could still easily access the information. They had its fair share of controversies this year, but perhaps the biggest one was the Joy-Con drift. Players were experiencing this with their brand new freaking consoles. The system will detect slight movement of the analog stick even when you aren't touching the fucking controller, leading to some really shitty gameplay experiences. And at first, people thought, well, it's only a handful of people. It's just the left Joy-Cons. You just played with it too hard. But then users quickly realized how many others were experiencing the very same issues on Reddit and other Nintendo communities, not only with the left, but with the right controller as well, which eventually led to a class action lawsuit being filed against the company for allowing such a defective feature on a pretty fucking expensive product. The issue has been reported on the Switch Lite as well, which doesn't even have removable Joy-Cons, and Nintendo's staying quiet. And likely, initially when it started happening, they were sort of resisting at first, but eventually Nintendo did do the right thing, and I'm going to give them credit, and that's why it's lower. They started offering users free repairs, but this issue should have been addressed long ago in production. Worse, because they likely knew about the problem and pressed forward anyway, especially when those damn Joy-Cons themselves are already overpriced and friggin' expensive, and they're kind of garbage. Fix your shit!
But Game Freak with Sword and Shield has now decided you can't do that anymore. And that upsets some people. They have removed what has always been kind of an intrinsic feature of the series. They have stated many times,
Exit, as people call it, Pokemon Sword and Shield became the first brand new next generation of Pokemon games to surprisingly lack in Pokemon. The past Pokemon titles have always included the National Pokédex, which allows you to import your Pokemon from previous games that aren't in the current release. Not so here, not anymore. With only 400 Pokemon, and that is including the different forms and unique forms of the same ones, and no Pokédex. This pissed off the Pokemon community, and soon the Reddit and the forum communities were ablaze. In addition, some players were doing the research. They were looking up all the quotes. They were pointing out that there is a serious lack of attention to detail in the animations and perhaps some straight-up copy and paste of the Pokemons, poking holes in all of the excuses that Game Freak was giving.
However, Game Freak has now official videos put out by graphic designers noting that it would be virtually impossible to have the models look so identical in terms of polys and vertices without directly importing them, including the fact that if they had redone them, you'd think they might improve the problems with the originals, like the rigid points in Gyarados' whiskers, for instance. And as I've said before, even if they did just copy the style of the old models, is that really from scratch, since you have a complete base to work off of?
And here we are, though. But in the end, though, those players bought it anyway, as they this game ended up being like the third best-selling Nintendo game of all time. Pokemon catching them all has never been a more ironic title, because you're going to need to pay for expansions or have your friends pay for expansions and then trade with them or wait for free updates to then trade with somebody that did get the expansions so that you can get the Pokemon that weren't in there and in the National Pokédex.
you know, the criticisms are there.